Welcome to the Archive Network. I'm Aurelius, and with me, as always, Malik. We curate the Exploration Archive. Today we open a new file, Roald Amundsen, South Pole. Malik, you've had this one on your desk for a while. Roald Amundsen was shaped by the icy winds of his childhood. Born into a shipping family in Norway, he was drawn to the cold, unyielding landscapes of the polar regions. These were not mere backdrops for his ambitions. They were laboratories for his methodical inquiry. His early lessons in seamanship were etched in the salt and wind of his hometown harbor.
Aurelius, it's striking how you frame Amundsen's childhood. Those icy winds were not just a backdrop. They were formative. They taught him resilience in a way that numbers and plans never could. Every gust of wind shaped his character, preparing him for the harsh realities of exploration, not just in theory, but in lived experience.
You're not wrong about the impact of his environment. Yet Amundsen viewed the polar regions as arenas for serious inquiry. Not a spectacle, but a test of human endurance and intellect. He understood that the cold demanded respect, and his survival depended on meticulous preparation. The ice was unforgiving, which is why he emphasized method over bravado.
That's true, but let's not forget that his early experiences also reflect his heritage. His background in a shipping family gave him practical skills, yes, but also a network of contacts. Those connections were vital for funding and support. It wasn't just about being methodical. It was about leveraging every advantage he had. Exploration was a business, and he was astute.
Financial realities undeniably shaped his ambitions. Amundsen approached exploration like a seasoned merchant, always calculating. He sought out backers among city merchants, those who craved detailed reports, diagrams, and precise calculations. For him, the math had to make sense before he ever set foot on the ice. We see this in many great endeavors. Every empire knows that success comes from careful planning and a keen eye on the numbers. Without that foundation, the journey is just a gamble.
But Aurelius, you make it sound like he was simply a businessman. Amundsen's choices were tactical, yes, but rooted in survival. The equipment he selected, the skis, the dogs, they weren't just practical. They were extensions of his philosophy. He prioritized utility over spectacle. This wasn't just a mission. It was a matter of life and death.
True. Why? Amundsen focused on practical choices. He knew that varnished wood runners and harnesses designed for dog freedom were essentials, not luxuries. His clothing choices, layered wool and reindeer skins, were not just about warmth but reflected a deep understanding of the harsh environment he faced. Every element of his preparation was deliberate, crafted to ensure the success of the expedition. It wasn't just about reaching the pole. It was about doing so with the right tools and mindset.
Every detail mattered, especially in an environment where failure meant death. His training routines, though they might seem mundane to outsiders, were essential for survival. Hoisting sledges and gluing harnesses weren't just tasks. They were rehearsals for the chaos ahead. Amundsen knew that each repetition built muscle memory. That would be crucial when they faced the unknown, when every ounce of strength and skill would be pushed to its limits. It was about preparing for what lay ahead, for the very real dangers they could encounter.
Indeed, the crew he selected was crucial. Amundsen sought skilled individuals who could function under extreme conditions. He chose seasoned sailors and Norwegians adept in skiing and dog work. This was not just a team. It was a finely tuned machine, ready to tackle the unforgiving terrain of Antarctica. Their competence was as vital as any piece of equipment.
But let's address the controversy. Many accused Amundsen of vanity, questioning his true motivations. They looked at the expedition as a mere spectacle, dismissing it as a publicity stunt rather than a genuine scientific endeavor. But if you dive into his notebooks, you see a different perspective. His success wasn't measured by trophies or fame. It was about the survival of his crew and the depth of his observations. Each entry reflects his commitment to them and the harsh realities they faced.
Ah. The criticism was loud and relentless, wasn't it? But Amundsen stood firm. His meticulous records laid bare a cold calculus of exploration. Calories per man, dog food conversions, depot numbers, these figures were not just numbers on a page. They were the bedrock of his expedition. For him, success meant returning alive, not basking in the fleeting glow of glory. He understood the stakes, and that clarity drove him forward, sometimes against the tide of public opinion.
As they prepared to leave, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The warehouse buzzed with activity, with every man focused on his specific role, their faces reflecting a mix of determination and anxiety. They exchanged glances, knowing the weight of what lay ahead. But little did they realize, the true tests awaited them beyond the slipway. The unknown loomed large, and the challenges they would face would demand every ounce of their preparation, their grit, and their unwavering resolve.
As Amundsen watched the horizon thin, he knew this was the start of an experiment, one that would test not just his skills but the heart of exploration. The vessel was more than a ship. It was his proving ground. Every detail he'd painstakingly planned was about to be scrutinized. The wake behind them would soon serve as a haunting reminder of the uncharted waters and challenges waiting ahead, each wave a testament to the ambition that drives us into the unknown.
That's where we leave it for now. Part 1 of 5. Roald Amundsen, South Pole, is far from done. If you're new here, we're Aurelius and Malik, curators of the Exploration Archive, part of the Archive Network. Part 2 drops soon.